There have been a number of articles that have come out this year about people becoming squatters. Squatters are people who find vacant homes, break in, and just start living there without permission. And if they stay in the property for 30 days, they can start claiming rights to live in the property. There was a recent TikTok video created by an illegal immigrant espousing the benefits of squatting for the millions headed to the U.S. from around the world. As a renter, you may be thinking that squatters are not your problem. That's for the landlord to deal with. But as this trend of squatting continues to grow, there will be some horrible ripple effects in store for the renter. This is Renter Confidential. The scourge of squatting has swept the country from Seattle to New York, Atlanta to Chicago. Using public databases or just by being observant, people find homes where the owner has recently passed away or properties where the owners have gone on a long vacation. But once the property is identified as vacant, then they break in and claim the house as their home, changing the locks and writing themselves a fake lease. And the police are at a loss to determine whether the owner or the squatter is telling the truth. So they turn it all over to the courts, where cases can take up to 6 months or more to resolve. All the while, the squatter continues to use the home and run up the utility bills for water and electricity. As the New York Post points out, brazen squatters even opened an illegal strip club on a property that they had taken over, one of the 1,200 homes which has been squatted in the city, according to the National Rental Home Council, a trade group. As a renter, this is a trend that you should absolutely be paying attention to, because one way or another, it's going to hit you right in the wallet in multiple ways. When a squatter takes over a vacant property, that's one less property that's available to rent. The result is a decreased supply of rental properties available, and lower supply means higher rents. In addition, squatters don't have a real lease, which means they have no security deposit at risk, nor does the property owner truly know who they are. This means that a squatter has no incentive to take care of the property. As a result, instead of keeping the power on, some squatters have set fires to stay warm, which also puts neighboring homes at risk. The Fox News article shown in the show notes below shows a picture of a neighbor having to put out a squatter fire just on the other side of the property fence. Since the police can't determine who's telling the truth and the courts have to intervene, the costs really rack up for the owner. Court fees, attorney fees, lost rent, utilities unpaid by the squatter, and making repairs to the property once they get it back all add up. Once the court case is eventually over, the owner will end up with possession of their property. But even if the owner received a monetary judgment from the court, they still won't be paid because the squatter likely doesn't have any money or assets. They would never have qualified to rent the property in the first place. Moreover, there's no real accountability for those who engage in squatting, as most states don't seem to have criminal statutes against the practice of fraudulently using someone else's property. America is in the grip of a housing crisis. There's evidence of it in nearly every city. 50% of U.S. households are having difficulty paying rent. And prices? Well, prices are on the rise. Frustration has set in for those trying to make ends meet, and searching for a new place can be a daunting task. It can seem overwhelming. People believe that landlords have all the power. After all, they have what you need. But it isn't true. Yes, you heard correctly. It is not true. You have more power than you think. Inside the new book, Rental Secrets, you'll learn how to reduce your rent. Just imagine having a lower rent payment. Get better value for your money. Paying rent is a struggle. Shouldn't you get more out of each payment? How to negotiate with the right people. Who has the real power to negotiate? Take control of rent renewal conversations. After all, it's your money. and even how to get free rent. Yes, it is absolutely true. Free rent is real, and you can get it. All this and so much more is in Rental Secrets. Get your copy today at Amazon.com. But the times are a-changin' and the tide is shifting. The Florida legislature has just unanimously passed a bill allowing police to remove squatters who don't have a lease from the property owner. It also makes presenting a fake lease a misdemeanor and trying to sell or lease someone else's property a felony. And causing $1,000 in damage to the property is also considered a felony under this bill. All of which makes keeping a copy of your lease in some form even more important than it already was. If you see someone who might be squatting, don't cheer them on. They aren't on a crusade against capitalism. The results of their actions make rental housing less available and more expensive for you. In addition, since they didn't go through the normal vetting process, there's no telling what their criminal history has been. Furthermore, they have no security deposit at stake. They might just light a fire to keep warm, putting your safety in jeopardy. Contact the owner or property manager as soon as possible. The sooner they know, the sooner they can take action. Not knowing who is living on the property places the entire rental community in danger. And rents are already high enough without the impact of squatters, making it even worse. And honestly, all of this talk of squatters can make people much more leery of becoming a landlord in the first place. Remember, investing in rental property is a choice. As a renter, you want investors of all stripes and persuasions to continue to choose to invest in rental property. That's how you as a renter get better options and more supply of rental homes. The financial costs imposed by squatters just makes rental housing more expensive for everyone else. Thanks for watching Renter Confidential. Happy apartment hunting. And remember, when it comes to renting, insider information is the best roommate you can ever have.